Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today I'm making a simple dish. I'm going to cook smoked knuckles. I got 3 huge ones here. And what I'm going to do is to make this dish more nutritious, because a lot of people will eat beans and rice for protein, but it's called a low count, or it's not a high count of protein. You have to eat a ton of it to get any results from it. So what I do, which my husband taught me, was you take smoked knuckles. You think of 1 smoked knuckle per person. This is how you have to think. And what you're going to do is, most people will just add water to this, but I want to make this more nutritious. So I have bone broth, which I've been talking about, which puts gelatin back into your body, which you need in your joints, and that's exactly where you need it. Okay, I'm going to leave the fat and just pour it in. I'm not concerned about it. And I'm going to pour some of this in. I poured half of it in, so that's about, this is 2 cups, so you could say I poured a cup in, because this is going to be a big pot. And I have vegetable stock. These are all our B vitamins and everything. See, a lot of people don't realize that your diet throughout your lifetime will dictate how your bones are. If you're going to end up with arthritis or weak bones and stuff. I'm going to add my vegetables into this now. A whole quart of vegetable stock. So I've added a lot to this, and then I'll just add some more water to cover it, and I'll boil these. Now, a lot of people don't know, when you see me crack those bones after I make my bone stock, you see me crack them, right? That's what happens to your bones when you're old if you don't eat right. If you smoke, if you drink, if you take drugs, if you take medication, it blocks this. It blocks these nutrients from getting to your bones. I'm just talking about the bones. I'm not even talking about diabetes and everything else. I'm just talking about one thing, but they're all needed for everything. So as women have children, if they don't take their minerals and stuff and keep on replenishing them, every child they have, they'll notice that the first one's the most beautiful, but as they go through them, you can see more of the deformities developing. Though you sit there and say they look alike, but there's a little difference. You have one that has a little more cavities, one's frame isn't as large. It goes through if you don't eat right during pregnancy, before conception, and afterwards. Each child gets worse with medical conditions, and it usually shows up when they're older. And what happens is, we're just going to talk about bones now. So when you see me break those bones after I make bone stock, that's exactly what your bones look like after an abuse of drinking and drugs and medications and all. As you get older, hips have to be replaced because you've worn the gristle off. You got bone on bone just grinding. So it hurts every time you use the joints. And when you walk, you feel your long bones. Oh, my long bones hurt, you know. That is the minerals being drawn out of your bones. All of these are telltale signs that what you've done through your life is starting to wear on your body. Now, if you're constantly replacing it, I'm 71, I don't have arthritis. You don't see swollen knuckles on me. I get up, I do what I have to do. I can pick things up. I don't have aches and pains here and my back and my neck. I don't have those. You know what it's like talking to people my age? All they do is complain about medication and how bad they feel. It's really quite annoying, you know, to find somebody that can actually do stuff at their age. So it's very important throughout your whole life that you eat well. And if you have a wife who's cooking for you, you better pray that she's doing the best she possibly can. And for a wife who has made mistakes, I have made them in my cooking and everything else, as well as anybody else. As I learn, I've got 71 years and I'm still learning more information about nutrition. And I keep bringing it to you as I just start leveling it out to you so you understand. But this is what you have to do if you wish. If you buy the instant foods and they say, well, this little bit doesn't hurt, but if you read that you do this and this and you put it together, you'll find out you are taking more than they say. But man doesn't know. Like they're finding out now the toothpaste that you're using is tearing down your enamels and causing you to have cavities. I've never had a cavity, you know, so there's a lot going on. If your diet is poor and you use the toothpaste of today, you're going to end up with cavities. If you have bad breath and stuff, your digestion's shot. Foul smelling gas, constipation, you're not getting enough magnesium and calcium in the right balance. If you have problems where you can't eat food because it upsets your stomach and all, that's because the body's digestive system is going to whack. If you have a heart problem and cholesterol, that's because you're not getting enough to the liver for the liver to produce the lecithin that it needs to sit there and fight that. So there's always a chain reaction to everything that you do. And it takes 7 years for every cell in your body to replace. So after, let's say you're 28, let's say 35, you've had 5 years of new cells replenishing. And if you don't eat right that whole 7 years, you find out that the cells get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And this is why people start getting sick. We're supposed to be able to live to at least 120. And when you see people at 110, they can hardly, and that's not living. It's not living at all. Anyway, so I put all this stock in here. I'm going to add some water to this, bring it to a boil, and cook these knuckles till they're just done. Well, actually, I cook them a little longer. I like them really tender. And then what I'm going to do is take them out, and then we're going to take this broth and vegetable water and stock and everything that we put in here. We're going to cook beans and rice into it. So as you can see, we are making this more nutritious than it normally is. Because if you just add water, you're not getting as much protein and stuff. But this is so rich. And when you make this dish and the leftovers that you have, you can always serve it as a side dish next to steaks, fried chicken, whatever you want. And you're just adding more protein and more health to you. And I know people don't like hearing it, that we're our cause. We are sometimes our worst enemies. Okay, but listen, I'll see you as that cooks.